Hi. Mystery bonus here. Today, I am going to explain an Australian sci-fi action thriller film, Predestination. Spoilers ahead. The movie is about predestination paradox. A predestination paradox takes place when a time traveler is captured in a loop of incident that predetermine him, or her, to travel back in time, and it suggests that the time traveler have no way of changing an event. Through the movie, we are going to explain predestination paradox clearly, so let's start. In the beginning of the film, we saw a man in a coat and hat, carrying two suitcases, and he is trying to defuse a bomb. Then he realized that someone is present there. He gets distracted by that man and involved in gunshot, and before the bomb can be safely defused, it explodes, burning the face of the man in the coat and hat. Then, another person entered. He walks towards the burnt man, and helps him to reach out to a violin box. That was a time machine. The burnt man uses the time machine, and vanish.
There were 3 people on that place. The coat hat man, who is trying to defuse the bomb, is John. The man who distracts John is the fizzle bomber, and the man who helps John with the violin case is Barkeep. And the point to be noted here is that they all are same person from 3 different timelines.
Burnt face man, John, travel back to a future timeline in 1992, and gets a plastic surgery for his burnt face. As his face is entirely destroyed, they give him a new face. This is the face, which we will refer to as Barkeep. John, or Barkeep, has been trying to catch a professional bomber, named Fizzle Bomber, and trying to prevent a major New York bomb blast, in 1975 which kills over 10,000 people, but has been unsuccessful so far. He is a temporal agent, of a mysterious temporal bureau, that have time machine, and can travel through time. Barkeep has one last mission, which he has to complete now. For which he travels back in 1970, and work as a bartender. One day, his younger version, John from 1970, arrives at the bar. They begin talking. John told that he is the author of the book named Unmarried Mother. Gradually John began telling the story of his life, where he was born as an unfortunate girl, whose parents left her in front of an orphanage in 1945. Then she had been taken care by the orphanage. Slowly she realized that she was much stronger than the other girls of the orphanage. Years passed, but Jane never ends up getting adopted, and she eventually decided to join the Space Corps program, headed by one Mr. Robertson. She passed all the tests, and acquired a good score, but she gets rejected from the program, because something in her physiology is not normal. But they don't inform her that, when they eliminate her. They simply pointed the disqualification, on account of the fight Jane has with a girl in the Space Corps program. Then Jane start attending night school, where she come across to a stranger. She falls in love with him, and the stranger become her boyfriend. But suddenly one day, the stranger told her that he had to go, and he disappears, leaving Jane waiting on a bench. After few months Jane realizes that she is pregnant. She delivers a baby, and become an unmarried mother of a baby girl. After that the doctor came to her, and said that Jane has an unnatural physiology. She has fully developed male and female organs. But due to the difficulty in delivery, the doctor has to remove the female organs, and able to save the male organs. Now Jane need to live like a man for the rest of her life. During this time, Jane come to know that someone has stolen her baby. After that Jane start living like a male, and gradually she transforms from Jane to John. After saying that, John completes telling his story to the barkeep. However, the barkeep knows all those things, because basically it is his own life story. He doesn't reveal that yet. Barkeep said John, that he knows the location of that stranger, who destroyed Jane's life. And he promises John, that not only he will bring John to the stranger, but also he will give him a chance to kill the stranger, without caring about any consequences. Then John and Barkeep use the time machine to travel back in the time, where Jane was attending night school. John furnishes himself with a gun, and start looking for the stranger. During the search, he bumps into Jane, and soon John realizes that he is that stranger, who falls in love with Jane and has become her boyfriend. Yes, mystery lovers, the male version goes back in time, when he was female, developed a relationship with him, herself, and they produced a baby. Hang on, that's not enough, there is more to come. While all of this is going on, Barkeep silently travels time, and goes forward to 1970 to the event of the bomb explosion, the first scene of the movie. When Barkeep arrives he noticed that, the Fizzle bomber is placing the bomb, and they involved into a gunfight, then into a hand-to-hand fight. Barkeep gets knocked out to Fizzle Boomer, and faints. When he wakes up he saw John's face getting burned by the bomb explosion. Barkeep helps John through passing the violin box. The Fizzle bomber also escapes from there. Barkeep travel to the time when Jane has given birth a baby girl, where he meets with Mr. Robertson. We saw that Mr. Robertson too has a little violin box of his own, and that means he also can travel through time. He seems to be the head of Temporal Bureau. After that Barkeep steals Jane's baby, and travels back in 1945 with the baby. And he leaves the baby in front of the orphanage. Yes, not only the male version from a future time has a baby with his past female self, the baby born as a result is the origin of him, herself too. So mysterious, right? Probably this is the reason why the baby has grow with both male and female organs. Ladies and gentlemen, this represent a perfect predestination paradox. The time traveler is predetermined to travel back in time. After Barkeep leaves the baby, he travel to the time when John and Jane are sitting together. Then he signals John, and John leaves Jane waiting on the bench. At this point Barkeep said John that he too is John from a future timeline with a different face. Barkeep also said John that they need to travel time to the future. Then Barkeep and John travel in future in 1985. Barkeep meets Mr. Robertson, and leaves John to recover from his trauma. Through his journey Barkeep has made an audio recording for John to hear and follow the things. Barkeep heads off to 1975, just few days before the New York boom blast. This time he travels back to 1975, for retirement. On the other hand, John recovers from his trauma, and after listening the tape left to him by Barkeep, he decided to become a temporal agent. After 7 years in 1992, John become an agent, and travel in 1970 wearing a coat and a hat, in order to prevent a boom blast, in New York. John gets distracted by Fizzle Bomber, and the bomb goes off burning John's face. Now you may understand the predestination paradox, which says that the time traveler have no way of changing an event. Eventually they become a part of that event. Now, in 1975, as Barkeep retire from his job he tried to decommission his time machine, but he didn't able to do that, because of an error in the machine. He checks the file, and notice that Mr. Robertson has left some clues for him to catch the Fizzle Bomber, who is going to commit the New York boom blast in 1970. Then he heads to the laundromat, where the Fizzle Bomber was present. When Barkeep reaches that laundromat, and come across the Fizzle Bomber he was shocked. The Fizzle Bomber is the future version of Barkeep. That means Barkeep has been chasing his own self from a future timeline. It seems like the time travel have caused Barkeep to develop some mental disturbance, and turn him into the Fizzle Bomber. In spite of stopping the terror attacks, he's been killing the innocents. Then Barkeep kills the Fizzle Bomber. This is the end of the film. Apparently we hope that the New York boom blast has been prevented. But however, Barkeep does not report that there is some error in his device which he's unable to decommission. This indicates that Barkeep continues to travel time, and have an effect on the mind, which caused Barkeep to become the insane Fizzle Bomber. Or maybe a younger Fizzle Bomber could be responsible for the New York boom blast. After all, he has been trapped into a predestination paradox. So this was it for today. Subscribe for more videos like this, and turn on the notification. Like and share to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.